Ryan,
How you doing,
brother?
baby?
How you been?
So great
How
to
you
see
been,
you, man.
G?
Doing great. Doing
Good
great.
to see you as always, brother.
Yeah, man.
So we got here for Canndid Boss Talk.
That's right. Man, it's going to be a good time.
We're here in the studio today with Ryan Matthews from Peace of Mind. And a good friend of mine. We actually did 2 TED Talks together. You want to introduce yourself to the people?
Yeah, how's it going, everyone? I am Ryan Matthews, and I'm really happy to be here. So looking forward to whatever we discover today, man.
Right, man. We're gonna cover it all. We're gonna talk about CBD doggy treats. We're gonna talk about PTSD. We're gonna talk about coming back from tours of duty. We're also gonna talk a little bit about pool parties with the Vanderpumps. Canndid Boss Talk. Ryan, if you guys don't know, he is not only a U.S. Army veteran, a celebrity dog trainer, and then also he has his new CBD line coming out as well. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself, where you come from, and what you're doing? What you got going on, brother?
Yeah, man. I come from my mama in 1980.
Shout out to Ryan's mom.
Yeah, I grew up here in Southern California.
Okay.
And then got caught up in some things, man. And then I decided to join the Army when I was 19.
Got it.
And then I traveled the world. It was a really good experience. Went to combat. Not so good of experience, but I'm really blessed to be here, you know.
Yeah, right.
And had some crazy things go down after the war, and I'm happy to get into whatever you want to chop it up about. And then I decided to really transform my life. So I've been on fire lately, man. And so I'm happy to have met you and, you know, the tribe.
Likewise.
And man, it's just, I feel like I'm just now getting started. So I'm really happy to be here.
Right. Life is all about new beginnings. Every day is a new one, right?
Yeah, man.
For those who don't know, me and Ryan actually met through TEDx, right? I was actually emceeing my first TEDx, and you were on stage as well. I was out in Orange County, right? We were practicing out in Orange County.
Yeah, we practiced in the OC. Shout out to Clint. And it was at the Pasadena City College TEDx Almanzar Park.
Almanzar Park, yeah. That was incredible, man. How did you even get involved with doing TED Talks?
Man, like I had said, like I went through some things, and I decided that I was going to really like transform my life, you know?
Okay.
And so after that process of like really working on myself, because I wasn't happy with the person that I was, man.
Right.
I was like, man, I want to become a professional speaker. And then I had no clue how to do that. So I joined the Toastmasters, right?
Okay.
And so my mentor in Toastmasters had kind of held my hand, and he's like, you know, I think you're ready to do a TEDx talk. I'm going to put you in. And so he put me in to do a TEDx talk. I met the curator, and then it was a really beautiful situation. So I did my first TEDx talk, Overcoming PTSD Using Dog Training Techniques.
Overcoming PTSD using dog training techniques. So break that down a little further for us. So what you got going on there?
Yeah, so the secret to train any dog. Now, you guys need to write this stuff down because it's worth a lot of money.
Hey,
so
gems will be dropped.
Knowledge bombs coming your way. So the secret to train any dog is, it's called RCTR.
Okay.
All right. Now, RCTR stands for repetition, consistency, timing, and reward.
Okay.
Right. And so when you teach a new behavior for a dog, you repetitiously got to do it over and over and over. Right. So when you teach them to sit or lay down, just one time won't do it. You got to do it over and over and over. Now, that same holds true with us. Right. And so when I talk about repetition for us and our own transformation or moving past trauma, I talk about living a daily ritual and having a purpose. Okay. Repetitiously using a daily ritual. So you're in that thriving mindset, right?
Okay.
And I talk about consistency with dogs, in that you got to be that leader, man, that they're willing and wanting to follow, right? Like if you're really emotional one day and angry or whatever, and then you're super sweet and all like, you know, kind to the dog, it's really confusing. You got to be a really sound leader, right?
So you have to be consistent.
That's right.
With your tone, consistent with your actions.
That's right.
And just intentional. And
it works with people too. Like think about, you know, when we were first starting our careers, or like for me in the military, some of the best leaders, they were very sound and they were very reliable, right? And so when we're in the presence of a leader like that, man, we're like, hey, I'll go into battle with you, or whatever it is. It applies to the corporate world as well.
Right.
Yeah. So be that consistent leader and that fair leader to your tribe or to your people or whatever, right?
Excellent.
Yeah.
And what do you have going on in the CBD world? Tell us a little bit about your company and how
Yeah.
you're incorporating CBD in the dog training
Yeah. Well,
regimen.
you know how it actually came about was, after the war, man, I was like really numb. I remember trying to hold my ex-wife in the kitchen, man, and like I had no feeling. Like I was numbed out.
Right.
Right. And I was just like, damn, I couldn't feel anything. And so dogs taught me to feel again, man. They helped me get back into my heart. And so honestly, I feel like I owe dogs my life. And so I launched Peace of Mind CBD as a way to give back to dogs.
Okay.
And the other part is, a little bit about my journey in that, like, man, I've been through some crazy life-threatening stuff, right? So I know the mind screw that it takes when you're going through some crazy physical, illnesses and stuff, right? Well, dogs are going through the same thing, right? And so that's part of why I want to create Peace of Mind CBD so that I can give back to dogs. Because here's the thing, man. We are our animals' advocate. They can't speak up.
Right.
Right. And so I really wanted to bring in what I know of after training over 3,000 dogs, dog behavior, dog psychology, and share that through cannabis and the pets. To really, man, just improve the quality of life of dogs. Because again, I know what it takes. I know what it goes through when you're going through really difficult things. Right. And I, again, just want to give back to dogs. So I'm really happy to do that.
I could dig it. So the dogs that you worked with when you were doing a tour of duty, right? They obviously deal with a lot of PTSD themselves, right?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that. Like what kind of post-traumatic stress does a dog go through and how do they cope with it?
So, what's interesting is like dogs are kind of like people in that, some dogs are really resilient and some people are as well.
Right.
And others are a bit softer, right? And their recovery isn't as fast as those really resilient ones.
Yeah.
And so the same holds true with dogs versus people. And so some dogs can go through some crazy stuff and they can kind of get over it. The cool thing about dogs versus us is they're really in the moment.
Right.
And so as long as we don't like imprint really drastic situations and don't act like it's a big deal, dogs can recover a lot better than we can for the most part.
Okay.
And so as it relates to dogs with PTSD, yeah, it's really tough. And at the same time, we got to facilitate them to work through that. And so CBD is a great way to help settle the mind and give them some of that peace of mind, right? And the other, yeah, And the other thing, man, is allowing that dog to be like, today's a new day,
right,
and show me another way. And that's what's so beautiful about dogs is, man, they show up like it's Christmas every damn day, right?
Yeah.
And so that's one of the beautiful things that they teach us, I feel. But yeah, really, it's not about feeling sorry for them. It's about setting them up for success.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. So I kind of relate to that. I mean, because when I played college football, right, we deal with a lot of shit on the field as well. And being a defensive player, my coach, Coach Brown, shout out to Coach Brown, he would always say, don't let the brown bird shit on you, right? As a defensive back, especially as a safety, if you're playing the post position, you can't let the ball get behind you. Right. But you got to understand there's, when I played college ball, or even if you made it to the league, there's talented players on the other side as well. You're going to get beat every now and again. Richard Sherman, shout out to the San Francisco fans out there. Richard Sherman, you have a bad game. Sometimes it's on the biggest stage. But as a defensive back, you got to have that short memory, right? So we're always trying to get to that short memory. You can't dwell on the stuff that it's already happened. Does CBD kind of help cope with that and kind of help get you back on track? Is that what's you've been able to use as kind of as a coping mechanism? Yeah,
man. I can really relate to like, the mindset, or when something's not in flow, it messes with your mind, right? And so after combat, it was the same way, man. I remember coming back and like, I would literally be driving and like swerving on the road, worried about running over trash, man. Like here in LA, like thinking it was going to blow up.
Jeez.
I was still like living over there, right? Or even like I'd be walking down the street with a female and be like, I'd go around like a little meter on the sidewalk or a sewer manhole cover. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, yeah, my bad, right? I couldn't walk over it, man. I thought it would explode, right? And so CBD was allow me to slow down,
right,
and see the truth and the realness of the situation of where I was at.
Really?
Yeah.
That's excellent. I always said, like, when I did my TEDx, mine was called "Man Behind the Mask: 3 times Cannabis Saved My Life." I truly believe, because of the stuff that I went through as a child, I had a pretty rough upbringing myself. When I would smoke weed, when I would consume cannabis, it really allowed me to take that mask off. That was the only time that I could truly be myself. That was the only time that I could actually relax.
Yeah.
Very similar to your situation when you were overseas. I didn't trust anybody. I always thought somebody was going to creep up on me and hit me. That's just something I dealt with when I was young. And when I smoked, it actually calmed me down, kind of got me in the place I needed to be. And regardless of what any of my professors and teachers would say, like, I had a 3.2. I graduated with 3.2 GPA.
Nice. You
the
had me
top 10
beat for
university.
sure.
And I didn't really start smoking heavily until it was college as well. We just knew, we knew when we could and when we couldn't as a scholarship athlete.
That's right.
So the guys who get tripped up on the tests, they got greedy. So, so what is your regimen currently? Was it just on the CBD side? Do you dabble on the THC side as well, or?
Yeah. So I can relate to what you're saying. The answer to your question is I'm playing with CBD right now.
Okay.
But I remember back in the 90s, being in the circle, right?
Yeah,
and that's right. And that was, man, one of the ways that I was able to bond and connect with other people.
Okay.
And because I could relate to some of what you were talking about, like, I remember having scraps and this and that. And so you kind of, even before combat, kind of have your head on the swivel, like, am I going to get caught slipping or whatever else, right? And so, but I remember when consuming cannabis, like, I just felt more unity, more connected to the people around me, And so it allowed me to, like, have more fun, freestyle with homies, right? Like, but without it, then maybe I wouldn't. So it was interesting. You're talking about the mask, how it gave me like this comfort and like, man, just throw down these barriers, man, and just be you. Right. And so I miss that. Now the herb nowadays isn't that stuff in the 90s. So like, I really respect it, man.
No sticks,
I really
stems,
respect it. You got that right. And so, the answer to your question is CBD right now.
Okay.
Just under the tongue twice a day.
Okay, good. Sublinguals?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Nice. As I've gotten older, I don't really just like smoke to get all, all doped up or anything like that. Yeah. I've actually really come to appreciate a good one-to-one joint, a good one-to-one ratioed CBD to THC joint, where it just mellows me out. It allows me to continue to work at a optimal level. And it doesn't really, just dumb me out, so to speak. So I've really had a more of appreciation for CBD and the CBD side of the plant over the last year and a half or so myself. So when you're dealing with animals, how does the different formulations come into play? I know, if you go to the vet and you're giving animals versions of the human form of opioids, let's just say it, they're usually expired. They're usually a lower dosage, obviously, because of the lower weight of the dog. How does cannabis affect the animals?
It really varies. And here's what's interesting. And so, like, this is the information I'm receiving from veterinarians in the cannabis game. Okay. And so I'm conveying the information that I've received from them, and I'm applying my observational skills in being, big time dog trainer that's trained thousands of dogs, which I feel really fortunate to be able to do both, know the dog training and partner with some veterinarians, which is a beautiful thing. And so the answer is it really varies, right? And what the veterinarians are saying, again, the ones that are in cannabis, is that this is a case-by-case situation. It really is, right? Now, that's not ideal as it relates to selling product and scaling, but really, like, each endocannabinoid system is going to be a little bit different. Same with us, right? And so what they're saying is the guidelines are this: start low and go slow. Okay. And they talk about like this threshold of the most effectiveness of the product, where too low of dosing and we don't really get great results. Okay. And it's essentially like a bell-shaped curve. And then as we go high and we drop, that's actually a high dose. And so the answer isn't just dose real high with your pet. It's really like 2 to 3 days, dose consistently the same amount and observe your animal. And then that's where we're going to create videos and I'm going to help educate people on what they should be looking for.
That's interesting.
Because the animal can't talk to you all, but the dogs talk to me because I can read it. So I want to help you all understand what the animal's saying through body language, right? Yeah. And then so we really find that perfect threshold of effectiveness of the product for that animal.
Excellent.
Yeah.
What are some of the other benefits? I know I've used CBD, whether it's doggy biscuits or whether it's the tincture that you gave me as well. It really helped with my dog's coat.
That's right.
It made his coat shiny. You know, he was dealing with a lot of allergy issues. Actually really helped him out.
That's right.
What are some of the other benefits that you can see with dogs? Or you work cats too, or is it just dogs?
Cats and equine is coming, but first I want to really dial it in with dogs because that's the platform that I know best, right?
Absolutely.
And so the coat is one thing, the itching, and so what we're doing is we're using MCT oil, coconut oil, along with like salmon flavor, right, for the coat.
They love the salmon, man.
Oh man, they eat that stuff. It's like doggy crack. It's crazy.
Doggy crack.
It's crazy. And so
coin that.
Yeah. And like, so right now, one of the clients is this dog that is a rescue. It was paralyzed, got hit by a car in Thailand, and my client rescued the dog, brought it back stateside, but the dog can't use its back legs. But we're dosing this dog daily, and we're teaching this dog to walk, man.
Wow. Yeah,
it's incredible. And the other part was like, when this dog came from Thailand, its pads were torn, and it was this way for a year. Man, and it's going to seem like I'm selling, but I'm not at all. I'm just conveying what the client conveyed to me.
Okay.
1 month of the product of CBD tincture, 1 month, and the client said that pad had made a full recovery.
Jeez.
And that blew my mind, man. I didn't even think that was possible. And so it goes to show that anything really is possible.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that also goes to show that that's one of the positives that would come.
Positives, get it? I like it.
Yeah. It's one of the positives I think that would come out of federal legalization, that we can do a lot more research. You have federal funding for research, because I'm hearing stuff like this all the time.
That's right.
Another one of my clients, you know her as well. She's working on a hair care product, and we had no idea when we were developing, the formulation or whatever, that it would spawn hair growth.
Wow.
Right? So I
need some of that, by the way.
Right? Me too. Get a little thin, up there. So thick up, you know what I'm saying?
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's spurring like hair growth. So a good friend, Kitty Toomey, and she is Miss Kitty is her name. She is actually doing a CBD infused hair product, right?
Wow.
And we were just helping her with sourcing for it. And she accidentally found out that it's helping people grow hair back as well. So there's all different kinds of positives, here again, positive reactions and I guess side effects that are coming unexpectedly from these cannabinoids that we had no idea about. And I think if you have the full force and the full funding of the federal government behind us, you can really blow that thing up, right? Like,
yeah, man.
How much good can you do?
That's what I was going to say, man. It's about really improving quality of life, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I have clients where their dogs will tear up their house from anxiety when the people are gone.
Right.
And again, I'll drop another dog training hint. For those of you that got the dog wiling out when you're gone, one of the secrets is this. Number one, ignore the dog when you leave and ignore the dog when you come home. You want to acknowledge them when they're calm, on a side note. All right. Now,
it's good to know, man.
So for the client that's got the dog like all crazy, right? Yeah. When you're gone, the client's been dosing the dog and he's like, man, the dog will lay down. He's like, I spy on him on the camera inside the house. He's like, he'll lay down when I leave. It's remarkable. Or I have a client with an aggressive dog. So you were talking about like, what are the different benefits? An aggressive dog, it's like they're dialed down, man. Like they don't have that red zone or that desire as much. That
aggression.
That's right. It's like they're more receptive to what we want to say when the animal gets distracted or triggered or bothered, whatever you want to say it, which is it's remarkable, man. It's crazy.
Right. And would you recommend, are you doing like hemp-based stuff? Is it a full spectrum? Yeah,
we're going to do a broad spectrum, right, is the game plan. But honestly, Right now, I'm still out there making sure that I'm delivering exactly what the public wants and it's getting the best results. And what I found thus far is the broad spectrum's doing really well.
Okay.
And so there'll be a multiple product lines. You know, right now it's the treats and the tinctures.
Right.
And we're doing something new with the treats.
Okay.
But I can't share that. Let's just say like I'm combining some of what I know in the dog training industry.
Okay.
And the whole purpose of doing something a bit different is to increase the bioavailability, the effectiveness of the product.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. And what is the optimal effect for you? Like, do you have like a list of those benefits, a list of those goals that you would be going after?
For
with your
sure.
clients? Okay.
And so one thing would be calmness. And like for senior dogs, we're looking for an increase in mobility. And so that would help with the pain management as well. And then you had mentioned about the coat, even like itching as well. And then we can't make claims, but I know veterinarians that are using a 1-to-1 ratio for dogs that have cancer, and it's helping, right? And so we're talking about some basic stuff like, oh, the dog has anxiety 4th of July or whatever, but we can even go as extreme as, cancer, right?
Right.
And also reducing inflammation. And so, man, I have so much love and respect for the plant because we're so fortunate to have discovered it and benefit from it.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why over a millennia now, civilizations, have been utilizing cannabis, right? They look in the ancient tombs of the Egyptians and the Mayans. What's one thing they always have in there? They always got their stash. Always got their stash because they realized it was medicine back then.
That's right.
We're starting to realize that it's medicine again now.
Yep.
And it's time to really break that stigma, right? What do you think is your biggest hurdle that you face in the lane that you're in? So you're actually giving weed to dogs.
Yeah.
What's the kind of reaction that you get, and what are some of the hurdles or the roadblocks that are put in your way because of that?
Right. I'd say two main things. Number one is I have multiple customers, right? So we have the dog owner, and then we have the shops that we're selling it to as well, right? And so as it relates to the dog owner, it's just a not knowing, call it ignorant if you want, where they're like, I'm just going to get my dog high. And so we just give little samples, be like, here, try. Like, no, it's not going to get your dog high. It can't. Right? And so that's one thing. It's just the perception, and education is necessary.
That's key.
Yeah, no doubt. And then the other would be the fact that veterinarians can't prescribe it yet.
Hold on. They're not allowed to prescribe?
If the veterinarian is like, man, I know that the cannabis is going to be great for this animal, they can't bring it up in conversation.
My vet tried to prescribe my dog Percocet.
Yeah, I know.
This
is the norm.
You can prescribe Percocet, but you can't subscribe CBD dog biscuits.
I'm saying, man, we're so behind. And so that's something I'm really excited and passionate about. It's coming, right? So we're being strategic on who we partner with to help make this happen and be ready, because it is going to come to a time where veterinarians really can prescribe it. And so right now the veterinarians cannot bring it up in conversation, nor can they recommend a particular product.
Got it.
Right?
That's tough. It
is tough.
So how do you go about navigating it, advertising and marketing a product that you can't even use with the people that would benefit most? Their practices would benefit from it. The results with their clients would benefit. Like how do you even go about maneuvering that landmine?
That's where you got to know 18 years in the dog industry, which I got.
Field, I should say.
That's right. So I got 18 years in the dog industry. So I found the secret. I found the backdoor way to get in. Okay. I can't share that because that's part of our huge marketing plan.
Got it.
Right. But I'm happy to share with the right people, no problem. And so again, for me, it's more about just getting the right products to the pets and improving quality of life, man. And so it is a little bit challenging, but I'm being patient because I know we're doing the right thing. This isn't about the money. This is literally about just improving the life for the pet and the owner.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So what is the most important thing, for you to get out of the business? All right. So to you personally,
Yep.
you said it's the right thing to do. It's the
Yep.
right thing to do not only for the animal, it's the right thing for the owner.
Yep.
What do you get out of it personally?
Man, I made a soul contract years ago when I had like my crucible moment, right? When I thought I was having a second heart attack. And in that moment, I was like,
How old are you?
just turned 39, man, but I didn't know we were going to go there. 39. Let's see. I was 30, my first heart attack. I was 30 years old.
Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that from stress? Is it hereditary? Like,
Actually,
tell us about that.
Man, that's a whole nother rabbit hole. That happened from the chemotherapy I was on because 2 months later I had a stage 3 colon cancer. Now you see dogs are going through cancer too.
Yeah.
And they're going through, that's what I was saying earlier. It's like, so I get it. And that's part of why I want to give back. And so how do I measure this success? It's not about the money. The money comes, man. It's more about measuring the impact that I can have. And so really, there's close to 2 million pets killed, euthanized in America alone. Okay? Every single year, close to 2 million pets. And I don't want that to be because pets are returned to shelters because they're naughty, right? And so what I want to do is I want to get CBD into the shelter environment and dial down that number, man, of euthanasia.
Chill them dogs out.
That's right, chill them out. And then so they're going to be more adoptable when people come through, right? They're not going to be all wild and they're like, oh man, I can't handle that. That's too much dog for me, right? So then the other part is if we reduce the stress of the animal, we're going to reduce the disease as well.
So do you have like a certain regimen that you'll be putting your clients through with the CBD? So you have like different checks and balances. How are you measuring your success with the training with them with the CBD on the side?
Yeah. So
or the supplement.
Yes. So just measuring the CBD is going to be something where we're going to be sending surveys to people and checking in with them from a customer service standpoint. And then also just really building a tribe, man. That's what I want to do is build a tribe. And so that people can converse about, their dosage and what's working. We're going to give the guidelines and we're going to try to make it as specific as possible. But again, it's like individualized for each living being that has an endocannabinoid system.
Exactly. It's all about education first before economics, right? And you got to understand that the human body as well as the dog's body has an endocannabinoid system. Your body was built to accept these cannabinoids, and it affects everybody differently. I really can't tell you how many times I just chuckle inside when I hear people say, "Oh, I don't do weed because it makes me too giggly. I don't do weed because it makes me too tired." Right? There's different strains that affect people differently. Every human being has a different endocannabinoid system that is attached to your double helix, right? It's attached to your DNA. So until we actually have the mapping of that DNA and matched with your endocannabinoid system, you really don't know.
That's right.
How you're going to react to certain strains. So another reason why I truly believe we need federal legalization. I'm sad on the other side of that because we're so hard set on capitalism right now, especially with the president that we have currently. Everybody's like growth. And you need to make money. We do need federal legalization, and it's going to bring a lot more money and research into it. But it might mean that certain people that have a purpose, not only get left behind, but they get stomped out of the situation. Right, and everything is for profit instead of for a cause or for effect. Right, I think I hear a dog that needs some CBD in the background.
That's right.
In the background here.
That is some training. Right? We hit him with the 1-2.
Yeah, the mental jujitsu. I really want to drive that home. Like people need to educate themselves.
That's right.
On this. And here in California, we actually have the platform, the educational platforms. Information is out there, but people are still scared to take that step. What are some of the things that you do to really ease people into that conversation? I'm sure you have plenty of like old folks that have dogs, like, oh, you're not gonna give my dog weed, you know. How do you ease into that conversation?
I'll use an example of my grandmother. And my grandmother, she doesn't like onions, but she had never tried them, right? And so that's true with, I think, some of these people as it relates to cannabis. Like, oh man, I wouldn't touch that stuff. I'm like, you ever try it? Like, do you really know what it would do to you?
Right.
Like, oh, no. But no, man, you got to be willing to have an openness, right?
Take the leap.
That's right. And so like about my grandmother, she had some back pain. I was like, all right, grandmother, like I got this thing. Let's throw it on your back. Let me know how it goes. And I was like, it's a pain patch. She's like, all right. And so she did it. And so 2 weeks in, she's like, what is this patch? I was like, oh, it's CBD. She's like, the stuff you're doing with the dogs? I was like, yeah. She's like, I haven't had back pain in like 2 weeks. And then she did it for another 2 weeks. No back pain. I just saw her yesterday. I'm like, how's your back pain? She's like, I haven't had any back pain. She used to have back pain like every single day. And that first thing she would do, wake up and earlier in the past, should I say, and she'd be taking pain pills and throw on those other, heated patches or whatever. And so that was a really cool way for her to, because she had never done anything with cannabis.
Right.
And so her first experience was CBD. And so it was really cool to introduce her to it, and I remember, because I was doing a little drug dealing back in the day, right? And so,
Just a little bit.
but she calls it pot. Right? I'm like, Grandma, I know you never done it when you call it pot.
Right.
Like when you say pot, you never played in the herb game.
Smoking them pots.
Yeah. But anyways, man, it's been a really cool blessing. And like at 86 years old, she's been able to experience the plant and bring her, some relief.
You were really able to turn a new leaf.
That's right. I like that.
And get rid of a little bit of
peace of mind.
And peace of mind.
That's right.
Love it. So you got you got a launch coming out, or like what's the timeline on the product in your stores?
So
working. We'll get you on my shelves, man.
Yeah,
gotta get that product out there.
I'm definitely about that for sure. And so here's the thing. It's really exciting time because I know exactly what I want to do. I've been testing products out in the market. I've been polling my dog people, right? And so I know what they're hungry for. And so right now we have a product that we're about to finalize that's getting really good results. It's the one where the dog that had the paw recover in about a month, right? And then it's helping with some aggression. It's helping with calmness. And the pain as well. It's like seems really solid product. And so now we're going through like the legal stuff, right? Okay. Getting everything finalized and then getting ready to ramp. I feel so fortunate, man. Seriously. I have some people that have distribution into PetSmart, Chewy, and Costco, and they just really believe in me as a brand. And they're like, "Get your product, we're ready to pitch it." And so it's like there's a lot of momentum, man. So it's really gonna take off, and I'm really excited. So the answer to your question is we're like a few months away.
Okay, excellent. When we launch, man, I gotta let me help you with that party. We gotta have a
you already know
celebrity doggy pool party.
Yeah, we're doing it.
Yeah.
We're doing it.
I heard, shout out to, what was their name? Vanderpump.
Oh, okay. That's right.
They had Popcella or whatever.
Yep.
We gotta demolish that, bro.
Let's show them.
We'll have the Kardashians out there. We're gonna have, Puff Daddy out there, all their dogs, and just gonna tear it up,
Yeah, we'll throw in the cannabis and the dog training. It'll be a good time, man.
Let's dig a little bit into your TED Talk. What was your TED Talk about? What was your TEDx about? I know, but
let's share with the people.
Yeah.
So I'm really fortunate, man. I did 2 last year.
Okay.
And so the first one was overcoming PTSD using dog training techniques. And the second one was let's treat each other more like dogs.
Yes.
And that's the one that I was fortunate enough to have shared the stage with you on your talk.
Blessings.
And man, that was a really beautiful experience. We were outdoors in that beautiful weather out there.
It's crazy, right?
Lake Arrowhead.
On this, Sky Forest.
Yeah.
How was it 8,000? Was it 8,000?
It was way up there, man. Yeah.
It's way up in the sky, and beautiful crowd. It was great turnout. So tell us a little bit about your 2 talks. Let's talk about the first one first, and the difference between those and what you went through.
Yeah. I've dedicated like the past year and a half to TEDx because I did 2 nearly back to back, and it was a lot, man. Like the first talk was 18 minutes, memorized word for word, right? And like my memory's not always as sharp as it once was, man. I'd be like at the gym, like hearing my talk, driving, playing the talk, giving the talk, and it was nonstop. It consumed my life. And it was a really good time. But I used the first talk as my come out story, where I was involved in some crazy things that had happened. I got nationwide press in a really negative way. And then I hid out from the world for like 5 years, man. And so I never shared with the media what went down, but I used the TEDx stage on March 30th of last year to share what really did happen. And I talk about how PTSD can show up in many ways. People know me as this combat guy, but man, that's just one way that PTSD showed up. It's been multiple ways that PTSD is just bop, 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 in my life. And so the first talk was applying, dog training techniques to overcome PTSD. And so what's crazy is I have psychologists endorsing this as well, which blows my mind how similar a psychology with humans and dogs can be. And so the second talk was let's treat each other more like dogs. And I'm just highlighting how we show up with our dog, right? Like think about how we walk in the door and we're like, oh, wow. Then like, so good to see you. And then you see your significant other, you're like, hey, what's going on? And like, imagine how your significant other would feel that the dog gets all that acknowledgement and then you're like, oh, hey, what's up? Right? Like, come on, man. That's not the way to do it, especially you trying to have a good night, right? And so I'm just encouraging people, like, look at how we got no barriers when it comes to animals, right? We just love them with an open heart, right? But then let's try to do the same with people, right? And then let's be enthusiastic when we're amongst each other. So people feel important, man. We make the dog feel important, but we don't let our significant other feel important on how we show up to them, right? And so that was a piece of that talk, which was really fun. But I'm putting TEDx on hold. I'm not willing to accept doing another one for probably another year.
Oh man.
Yeah, I got to
focus on the product this year.
Yeah, I'm doing that product, and then I'm also launching Canine Mentalist.
Okay.
And so Canine Mentalist is where I bring in my dog behavior and psychology into the business world. So things like motivate your sales team the same way you motivate a dog.
Nice.
Or let's treat your team how we treat a dog. And so I break down the dog behavior and psychology and then tie it into business. It's really good time, man.
Because you're actually like rehabilitating the owner.
That's right.
Not the animal.
That's right.
Right? So technically you are a master in rehabilitating owners.
There you go, man.
Already. So it really goes hand in hand there.
Yeah.
Right? No, I could dig it, man. It's pretty exciting stuff, man.
It is.
And where could the good people find you, man?
Sure. Yeah, too easy. Social media, it's at I am Ryan Matthews, worldofdogtraining.com, and peaceofmindcbd.com, and then IamRyanMatthews.com as well.
Man, you got all the spots.
Yeah, we got it all going on.
I love it, G.
Appreciate
it.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate
much love for you coming through, man.
Yeah.
And we can do it's the California shit.
Yeah. Get the Cali going.
No, much love for coming through, man. And I can't wait for your product to drop and for us to have that doggy pool party, man.
Oh, it's on for sure.
It's on like that.
Appreciate the opportunity, brother.
Much love, brother.
All right.
Peace.